Um, Everybody, welcome to Promoting Peace, a conversation with some amazing men who do some amazing things. So we're gonna spend an hour talking about this topic of violence and what our understanding, our inside-out understanding, has been able to help all of us on the panel do toward violence and how we think we can make some impact and some change. So I'm going to introduce very quickly my panel and then kind of shape the context for today's conversation. And we're going to jump into it. First and foremost, I am your host, Rob Cook. I'm going to be here just guiding the conversation. But the people you need to know most, here we go. Starting out with Brandon Brown. Brandon, if you just unmute real quick and say what's up to everybody for me.
Hey, what's going on?
I got Dejan White out of Chicago. Dejan, what's going on?
Yo,
Tamarjay Polk over there in Portland. What's up, Tamarjay?
What's going on with it?
I can't complain. Derek Clark, Portland. How you doing, man?
I'm straight. Everything good over here.
And if y'all can't see him, y'all better look at him on the screen because he's clean. That's my man, Prince. Prince, how you doing, man?
whoa, what's up, man?
Oh, man, excited for y'all to be here. So tonight, just so everybody understand, is a project that was put together in response to 30 Days of Giving, just a challenge of which everybody in this understanding wanted to give, to those we love most as we were upcoming on holidays and special time for families. So there are a couple of organizations I want to highlight. One starting with the Inside Alliance. I want to give a special thanks to their founder, Anna Debenham, and their entire board and team for all that they do and all of the community work and inside and outside of the prison system work. And just, if you could, just join me on a round of applause for what Inside Alliance is doing. And a bit of what we're talking about today is a direct reflection of that. Another organization I want to highlight, this one is so cool because you're going to hear from their founder today, and that's Rebels of Peace. If you can see a Dejan and Prince out there in Chicago, thank you guys. And I can't wait to really dive into this project and this amazing thing you all have created out there. But tonight we're talking about violence. And what we're really trying to do is put some space between your thoughts that make the violence come about and then the trigger when they actually happen. And so to do that, I'm gonna start with you, Brandon. If you go ahead and unmute for me, man.
All right.
How you doing?
Hey, man, I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good.
I really appreciate it.
Glad to be here with y'all tonight, man. Glad for this.
Oh yeah, it's about to be fun. So Brandon, real quick, man, I'm gonna let you just take the floor and if you could just shape a little bit of your story about the things you've went through and things you've seen toward violence and what coming into this understanding can do. And then my second question is, once you start closing your story up, kind of leave me with the nugget of if you were mayor or if you were in charge, because they may be listening. Somebody in a leadership position could be listening right now, and we would want them to hear, not that if we're telling them what to do, but more so of a collaboration, how we can help the violence that happens in our community. So, it's on you, man. Go ahead.
All right. Been sitting here thinking about this whole conversation, man, ever since I got invited to it, man. Like, man, what do I talk about? What do I want to talk about? So I'm going to talk about myself because my story is like one of the most violent stories I could think of, just for myself in life. I grew up in a well-known violent family. It's a gang family out here in the city of Portland. So it's an environment that I've been in since birth, drug dealers, pimps, crackheads, you name it. I've had it in my family, So I was born into a violent environment, went to prison for 15 years for violent crimes. And in that 15 years, I discovered myself, who I was, what I'm meant to be, where I'm meant to go in this world by coming across these principles here. I was, what led me into that world that I was in was I was in the gangs. I've been shot 3 times, jumped I don't know how many times, beat with a bat, broke my ribs, been sliced with a knife a couple times, so violence has always been a part of me. So I've always thought that I was always going to be a violent person. I was always going to be this. That's what I was meant to be. But then coming across these principles, I started calming my mind down and getting quiet and started thinking for myself, like really thinking for myself, finding out who I was. And now that I got a quiet mind, now I can maneuver through all this life, like it was nothing, I slice through it like hot butter, like a hot knife through butter right now, Life has gotten a lot easier. Doesn't mean that I still don't face challenges every day though. But coming from where I'm from where every man on this panel is from, there is a way out of that violence. There's a way out of that world. And everybody that's up here on this panel, man, is proof of that. Everybody up here, man, I just want y'all to know, man, y'all to face a hope up here tonight, man. The stories that we're going to tell about where we from and what we've been through, it's amazing. It's amazing, man. Like, none of us is meant to be up here today. Like, statistically speaking, we are not supposed to be here. We aren't supposed to be the successful men that we are today, living the lives that we are living. But these principles that we all came across, man, has really helped us out so much. And from one person to another handing it down, I got my mentee is in here on this panel with us, man. Mr. Tamarjay Polk, man. And earlier somebody said, man, I was introduced to a friend of his and he just thanked me. He said, man, I thank you for keeping this man out of prison. That man's kept himself out of prison. It ain't me. I've just been here, as a support system for him, but he's done this stuff all himself, man.
Well, help me understand that, Brandon, because that's a very good point. From having the experience of it being so violent to your own life, what clicked that you wanted to be there for Tamarjay? What clicked that you wanted to be there for those in your neighborhood who were experiencing the same thing?
It's the same life that I've lived, Going into these youth facilities, when I speak to these guys, man, I just see myself in every last one of them. Yeah. Every time one of them say something to me, I see myself. Yeah. So I know if I can come out of that and be who I am today, I know they can do it too. But something that I didn't have, like Tamarjay has right now, like the Inside Alliance has built, is I didn't have a mentor like that per se, somebody that was there for me, somebody that, can lift me up and everything. I did it all on my own with I had support system, Anna Debenham, she has been one of the biggest support people I've had in my whole life. Started inside a prison and 5 years later, we still in here 5+ years, matter of fact, because we had some time inside there, but she's been a support system for me. So having somebody that's there for you, I think has been a big change for him. Never having somebody like that in his corner, I believe is what helps him out a lot,
Yeah.
He has people that do believe in him. But that's more of a question that you have to ask that man,
Yeah.
Not
No,
me.
I just want to
more
see.
like it's more for him, but in my perspective, I feel like, that is a big key to it, why he's out here doing what he's doing, because he does have that support system, that the people that believe in him.
Yeah. No, I just ask because every time we get together before we do a program, I just always know your excitement. That's all. I just always know you're excited to go in and do it. So I really appreciate that. And you did mention 3 principles or the principles that we talk about. And just even for those who are listening that don't, very quickly, what we're talking about is one principle is called mind. And that's the belief that we are of the creative force of energy of life. So the same thing that makes the trees grow, it's the same thing that's moving through us. Every living human being is moving through that creative energy. Second is our thoughts. That's our creative power. That's how we make things happen. So if you think about anything that you see in your life right now, it was a thought. It was a thought first, and that thought was created and brought into manifestations for us to enjoy in our human experience. And then lastly is consciousness. That's just the awareness of my experience. Now, again, this doesn't mean that we know all the answers to life. It just simply means we understand how the human experience works. And when you understand how the experience works, you get to, as Brendan said, slow down your mind. And I want to jump us, take a virtual flight out here all the way from Portland to Chicago to talk about a youth-led organization that totally 100% understands that they're connected to this universal mind. And that's the Rebels of Peace. You see my t-shirt, you see Dejan's t-shirt, and trust me, when Prince is not dressed as clean, he got a t-shirt too, or a hoodie too. But I want to read this to you first. Dejan and Prince, y'all can go ahead and unmute for me. I want to read this, and then I'll let you guys go from there. And this is actually Dejan words, but they just really resonate. So I wanted to read them. I started the Rebels of Peace for peace to enlighten the people about the amazing power we have within ourselves, to educate them on that even in the darkest times, they can still find the light within themselves without any external factors. That they don't need to put their pain on anyone else to brighten their spirit. They do not need to spend hours at therapy or take any prescription drugs to heal their pain that they feel inside. We believe that change happens from the inside out, not the other way around. And once people see that change, that it starts from the inside out, they'll start looking for external factors they'll stop looking, for external factors to bring them internal happiness. I couldn't have said it any better myself, man. Talk to me about Rebels of Peace, man, and your guys' story out there in Chicago.
Well, for starters, for me, how y'all doing? My name's Dejan, CEO and co-founder for Rebels of Peace. And just a little bit about my backstory. Same as Brand's, man, you feel me? I didn't know violence my whole life, you know? So it's like that's what shaped my mindset. But I did play sports though, you feel me? But I ain't gonna sit on here and say I was just a bad kid though, you feel me? I did some good things. I was helping the elderly people out. I was trying to start me a little youth organization throughout the schools, you feel me? Joining after school programs, joining peace teams. But it was like after that little 1 hour session or 2 hour session, like I'm back to the streets, you feel me? I'm back in it, you know? So like that's what shaped everything. So my whole grammar school, high school, yeah, it was just either violence or basketball, you feel me? I did basketball, I did football, I did baseball, I did a little soccer, you feel me? Like I played sports, but it was like after the sports over, you're going right back to the hood, you feel me? So all the things that the sports was teaching me, that the mentors was trying to teach, what they were trying to show me, it wasn't really clicking inside my head because it's like, man, I see this day to day. I don't see what y'all talking about day to day. I see this. I see the fight. I see the arguing. I see the game bang. That's what I see. You feel me? I can't see what y'all see. So since I couldn't see it, I lived my lifestyle, what I seen outside. You feel me? I was a product of my environment.
Yeah.
Whatever my environment was doing, that's what I was doing. Drugs, fighting, you feel me? Anything. I seen everything firsthand. So growing up, it was just like I was either fighting or I was playing ball. You feel me? I couldn't really see no other way out for myself other than those two options because that's all I seen day to day. You feel me? Like my mama, my pops, my older brother, them, they always told me like, man, you can do whatever you put your mind to. Like everything you need is inside yourself. Like I was always told that, but since I couldn't see it, it couldn't really click inside for me, you know?
Yeah.
It was like something clicked inside me once I met this lady, her name Mara, you feel me? Y'all should check out Mara Olsen. You feel me? Y'all should check out. She was telling me like, man, you know, everything starts from the inside on out. You feel me? I was always pointing to the outside world for help. Like, why can't they come help us out? What if they can't clean the streets up? They should stop beating our people. You feel me? I was always pointing my fingers out to the outside world. Until she told me I need to start pointing at myself. You feel me? Like, why can't I be the change that I want to see? Why can't I be the person that I needed when I was growing up? You feel me? Why couldn't I be that type of person? And that's it stuck to me. You feel me? Like, damn, because I didn't really think about it like that. because everybody who I came in contact with always through the outside world. You feel like, man, we need to change that, you know?
Yeah.
But
It
then
makes sense.
yeah, it makes sense. And then it came to a little point where it's like something just shifted inside me. Like, man, what if I can be the person that I want to see doing this good stuff? What if I can be that person? And that's what the whole Inside Out came from. You feel me? I felt the courage that was inside of me spark out. I felt the creativity spark out. The determination spark out of me. After I realized that everything starts with me. You feel me? Everything starts from the person. You want to become a millionaire. You want to become a president. You want to become an artist. Everything starts from inside up. So if you live that lifestyle, then everything will be better. Like what you were saying earlier, like we ain't saying everything will be perfect, but we just know how to get through those obstacles now. You feel me? So now that I know what I know, you feel me? I teach everybody that, well, not teach, but show everybody that, you feel me? Show everybody that everything comes from the inside on out, not from the outside on in.
I love that distinction you just made, because it's not really teaching in a sense, because just like you said, when they were trying to tell you, it was something you couldn't see. And that's because we all come from different walks of life. You know, even though we may have shared experiences, for me, my real stripes of violence didn't come off my inner city growing up. It came from on the backs of me being 21 years in the military. You know, so it still was, though, like you said, I didn't understand how, like, I couldn't see it a certain way. Like, why did people just hate Americans? Well, we showing up, we got these futuristic looking vehicles coming through your villages, these helmets, these gear, these guns. And I'm like, yeah, but we're the good guys. And they like, but that ain't how we see it. You know, it was just like a different reality where this understanding had me, you know, just look at being a human being. And how would I feel walking out my door in gun trucks passing by? Like, how would I feel? And I was like, probably pretty bad. Like, I probably wouldn't like it either. It just really shifted for me, you know, how I looked at things. I love that distinction too, man, you made.
Gotta look at ourselves in the mirror, man.
Yeah.
Can't
And
change.
shout out to Mara. Shout out to Mara and Eric, One Solution out there in Chicago doing their thing, man. Prince, talk to me, man.
Yo, man. If y'all know, now you know. You know what I'm saying? I'm a musician or co-founder for Rebels for Peace. And man, it's a blessing to be here, man. Shout out to everybody that's here. Shout out to the Inside Alliance. And big shout outs to Rob Cook, Brandon, Derek, Tamaj, and Dejan for all stepping up and standing out. And yeah, man. So for me, I grew up on the west side, the east side, the south side of Chicago, different areas, but same problems, same struggles, which a main one is violence. And violence is, I feel like, you know, normal in just the category of different options that you have to handle, you know, a situation. That's a choice. So it's like,
it's one of them. Yeah.
Violence is like the go-to choice. Like that's what we go to. That's like the first thing we go to. If it's an argument, somebody looking at you wrong, if it's a problem that needs to be solved, if you having a bad day, if another person is just like you go to violence. So it's like, that's what I noticed being in the hood. That's what I noticed being in different areas is like, you know, that's how we solve our problems. And I just started to see that really never ended nowhere, because that just creates then for somebody else to want to retaliate, or maybe that person get hurt and then they family got to retaliate for them, to where violence just don't never end once it starts. So it's just trying to find different ways to incorporate options for people to know that violence isn't the only way that they have to go about something. And I learned that by learning more about myself and tapping into different ways to even express the energy that I have when I am angry or feel like I need to be violent. It's just, you know, a normal thing that people go through, or thoughts that go through their mind, and some people latch on to them and react. And that's where we at with it now. We're just trying to show people that that's not the only option, that they can choose different ways to handle situations, and also showing them that by being that image, by being in those type of situations where I could choose to be violent and not doing that, because I'm just understanding that I'm in control of the situation. I'm in control of my energy. I'm in control of what I give out, no matter what I'm faced with. and I just keep that close to me and just try to spread peace and love over everything, because violence is so easy. Like, it's easy to be violent. It's easy to react and go down a negative route. So it's just trying to be the bigger person, trying to be stronger, and focusing on better ways to handle problems and better ways to be a better person in general.
Love that, man. I really do love that, because it's something about, I remember when I took violence out of my toolbox for communication. Like, I remember it because I was arguing with my neighbor. And now I'm much older than you guys, and I've been around for a minute, but I had so much stress on me at the time. My grandmother had just been diagnosed with COVID. All of this stuff was happening, and I'm arguing with my neighbor. And before I know it, Prince, I'm like, I'll just slap shit out of you then. How about that? How about how about that? And my neighbor screams like, no, just listen to me. And it was like instantly, Prince, instantly. Like, oh, you right. Man, give me a hug. Come here. He was like, you crazy. I was like, man, give me a hug. You know you're my neighbor. Stop playing, man. I was mad. Come on, give me a hug. Because instantly I had realized I got caught up in my anger and I was gone, but that's not how I communicate. So we have the conversation, fix, go through the issue. But you're right. I forgot just that quickly that it was no longer one of those tools that I used to get my point across. But you're right on it being taught, and it's very easy and quick to pull, So I love that point, man. What y'all got going on? What's coming next for Rebels of Peace out there in Chicago? Or where can I plug in if I'm looking to connect? Where I do that at?
You got rebelsforpeace.org. You got Rebels for Peace on Instagram, Rebels for Peace on Facebook. A lot of our contact info is on the website. And yeah, plug in with us. We got a lot of stuff for tune. I said a few things, like bro said a few things. We got we starting to work with the 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th graders, where we go into the schools and basically host a youth-led program showing them how to connect more with themselves and how to be themselves more, and let them know that it's okay with being themselves, showing them different options to be the best version of themselves by just showing them how to incorporate resilience, showing them how to incorporate the mind, and just knowing that it's different ways to go about situations, and just knowing that if they're angry, it's okay to be angry, and that they don't have to react towards life being angry because they are angry, and just showing them different ways to tap into their emotions, showing them different ways to tap into themselves and not really be affected by the world or other people, tapping into them when that time comes. They more solid, they more stern, because they know who they are and they're comfortable with themselves. And we just offer them that by being those people and creating a safe space for them in the classrooms and in the school environments, where we just offer love and truth, man. And
I love it.
tell
Offer love and truth.
What we got coming up, bro?
We gotta just to highlight what Prince just said too. Last year, we did one elementary school. This year we got 2 schools, you feel me? So we really growing ourselves. And we got a event coming up, our Thanksgiving event, giving away coats, food, water, gloves, stuff like that to keep them cool through the wintertime. Just trying to spread some love up in the city, because as y'all know, Chicago, a real violent, wicked city, you feel me? Just trying to spread some love. And we got our Christmas tournament coming up too, where we gonna be donating toys, getting some hot chocolate, giving out to the kids that's less fortunate around the city of Chicago. And we got a GoFundMe too up. Y'all can go check us out, donate if y'all want to, or share with y'all people. It's up on our Instagram page at Rebels for Peace. The link is in the bio. So y'all go check that out and donate or share about it if y'all want to. Yeah, that's the thing that we got coming up for the rest of this year.
I love it, man. Well, real quick before I jump us back on this plane I got us flying now. Real quick, one of y'all give me a quick little story on something y'all can see in this work that's kind of with a young kid or something that y'all been doing. It's just really touched your heart that you like, yeah, man. This why I plug in right here.
One of us or both of us?
Either way, it don't matter. It don't matter.
Okay, for me, what Prince you want to go on?
No, you good, bro.
All right, cool. I say for me, when we do our internships, we be having a lot of kids, you feel me, that's talented. When I say beyond talented, like mind blown talented. But everybody just be in a shell, you know. Everybody less confident, they got less courage. You feel like they don't know their true potential. You feel me? And at the end of the internship, we host a event that's showcasing everything that they put in, like the work, all the arts and stuff that they did. And then when we ask them questions like what you gained from this or what you learned, what did you see different for yourself, the answers mind blowing. You feel me? Like hearing their own growth, what they seen for themselves is the best part. You feel like that's amazing to see them grow from this place to this place in a matter of 6 weeks. You feel me? Just imagine if they was like that when they was kids. You feel me? Like being taught this stuff that we teach and being showed this stuff that we showing. You feel me? Yeah, that's like the best part, just seeing that at the end of the thing. Like, man, they really grown. You feel me? You don't know through the process because a lot of people don't really share that type of thing. You feel me? But at the end, it's like you see everything. You feel me? And that should be dope. That'd be like, this is what I want to do. You feel? I want to keep seeing this art, keep seeing this poetry, keep seeing these plays. You feel me? Like keep seeing the people that really do something with themselves, other than the normal statistics that's in the city of Chicago.
Yeah, I don't know if you've ever watched back yourself talking about this, but bro, when you think about these kids, your face light up. Like your smile, like when you start talking about giving hope, like your whole face just lit up, man. You look like you're like 5 years old, just walked in and got all the toys you want for Christmas. Man, I love that, man.
That's the joy. Man. That's the
joy. Y'all are definitely from an old guy who's lived a long time to the young man. Y'all are definitely stories of hope. Y'all both inspire me, man. I really appreciate what y'all do out there. And if y'all ever need me, y'all know I plug in. Y'all, we got numbers, we know. So I'm gonna put us back on the plane and get out here, man, to my brothers. You know, and I don't say brothers by being funny. I say literally brothers because they are brothers. And to Marjay and Derek. And this one is super cool because I've had the chance myself to both talk to the gentleman working with Brandon as a mentor coach and things. But man, you two, boy, y'all like, I mean, it's like every day I see something new y'all doing. Like, what Derek doing? What Derek talking? Where Derek doing? What? You know, Tamarjay on what? You know, jiu-jitsu and y'all all over it, man. Y'all got this new revitalization for life that I'm excited about. So talk to me about it. Go ahead, Derek. Let's start with you, man. Well, wait. Who's old? Who's the older brother? Okay, well, let's start with the older brother because I'm older brother. So let's start with the older brother then. Go ahead, Derek.
So like, you talking about like what brought me to this understanding, or just like my plans, pretty much?
Yeah, just in life in general. Like, let me hear a little bit about your story, your struggle, and what it looks like now.
Okay, well, all right. So, well, like for me, like so when I was 17, me and my brother, we got sentenced to 6 years straight that we had to do, right? And then I just remember like being really angry at that point in my life, just like about everything, you know, just like because our parents, like they weren't doing so well at the time. Our parents were on drugs, you know, nothing was like really right in our house setting, and everything around us was like negative influences pretty much, you know, and just like a lot of people, we kind of, we grabbed on, we latched on to that, you know, because it was the only type of, I guess you could say, mentors, you know, that we had, like, But when we got that sentence, I remember just getting in a lot of trouble and then a lot of fights. And I remember sitting in the hole one day and I was like, man, when is this shit going to end? And I thought,
real talk.
No, for real though. And I was like, bro, I don't want to keep living like this. And I was like, when is this going to change? And I started thinking, I was like, I'm going to have to be the one to change this. I'm going to have to, like, it's going to have to come from me. And I started thinking like what led me up to this point, you know? And I started thinking like, oh, I was mad. Like I was really angry and I'm still angry. Why am I angry? Okay, I'm angry about this, but how am I going about it? And I realized like my anger was validated. Like a lot of our anger is, you know, coming from like, you know, living in a poverty-stricken area where like you don't got a lot of opportunities, don't got a lot of resources, you know, you got everybody showing you the wrong way. and on top of that, you know, you got the what comes with just being a person of color, you know, the trauma that come with that, and nobody's talking about it. So I realized like I was valid to be upset. I was valid to be mad, but just the way that I was expressing it was wrong. you know? And it helped me come into that understanding as well, and help me understand, like, you know, you don't have to, you can be mad. Like, it's okay to be mad. People like will have an emotion, right? And will try to cover it up or try to act like they're not feeling it. And all that does is just create more turmoil later on down the road. I realized that, you know, through my own experiences. But Anna teaches you, like, it's okay to have those emotions, whether you're mad, you know, sad, depressed, angry, whatever it is. It's like, just don't allow your emotions to dictate your actions. Allow yourself to feel it, but also allow that emotion to pass, you know, and know that there's nothing wrong. Like, you're okay. You know, it's a human experience that you're having.
Yeah.
And that just helped me better understand people too, you know, just even people that get on my nerves, like you said. Like, I have moments like that too, where I'll be wanting to snap. I'll be like, hold on, let me, you know, I have to understand, like, okay, like, real myself. And sometimes, like, I can't allow my emotions to get the best of me. And what made me really want to work with this program, and like why I love, like, having this understanding and, like, you know, help open up to other people, is because I feel like knowing this will have you it'll prevent a lot of trauma in your life, you know, because it talks a lot about emotional intelligence and mental health. It centers on that as well. And I feel like a lot of our problems in our communities come from those issues not being talked about. So
Yeah. No, I love that, man. I really do. It's kind of when you said just waiting on the next thought to go across. I had this vision of all us kind of crowded up under a little canopy, waiting on the rainstorm to go by because ain't nobody got no
right,
umbrella yet, and we don't
right,
want to run to the car. Like, we just like, man, look, oh, okay, look, I can see the sun right there. It's coming, Jeff. We all hold it up underneath for the rain to pass. And as soon as the rain passed, you know, we take off because that's how thoughts are.
right.
You know, unless you
Yeah.
hold on to it, it's just gonna pass through, kind of like out the clouds do, how they do. It's just gonna keep it moving. But it's when
Mm-hmm.
you grab it, you know, and when you grab it, you gotta put a story to it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, why they looking at me like that? Oh, they looking at you like that because they don't think you this. Oh, they don't think
Right.
I'm that. I'll show them. Or
Yeah.
and it just
For
builds
real.
very
It's a
quickly.
snowball effect. And I realize
Snowball
too, like,
effect, absolutely.
some people just don't have to understand. You got to understand when people don't have the understanding as well too, you know?
Yeah.
So,
And that's what we were talking about when you said conscious. When I just see, okay, look, we're in two different spaces. I'm
right.
not going to sit here and argue with you on this, or, you know, argue with you in general, because it's not productive. It's not going to help me get any more light and love to you for you to understand what I'm talking about with us arguing. So, you know, I love that. Tamar J, what's up, my guy?
What's up with it?
Not much, man. Talk to me. How you doing?
I'm doing good, man. Well, like my brother said, you know, we came from a impoverished background, marginalized background. You know what I'm saying? But I want to say I always had a conscious mind. You know what I'm saying? I always was analytic about the way I thought, but I didn't know how to assess trauma, because
Mm,
trauma is very, like, common in an African American household. You know what I'm saying? But what
yeah.
is not common is the way that we go about it. We don't talk about those things. We don't know how to express it. So we use other ways to cope, and then we end up trauma bonding.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and when you trauma bond, it's like you do the wrong things to numb whatever you've been through. You know,
Yeah.
so so yeah, I went to jail for about 6 years, but I was still doing time before that, even before I caught that measure 11. You know what I'm saying? So right now,
Okay.
this is like the first Thanksgiving I've been out for since I've been 15 years old. I'm 23 years old. You know what I'm saying?
This is
But
your first free Thanksgiving since 15.
yep, since 15,
Man, that's something to be thankful about. That's what's up.
most definitely. But yeah, I think it relates a lot to your mental health. We're not taught to dissect our mental health and the way that we feel, and to express yourself and dissect your trauma. And I had to realize why certain thoughts came to my head, why they made me feel this way, and what was the reason you wanted to react, you know, in certain ways. Have you ever, like, felt some type of way, but you didn't even understand why you were feeling that way?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, that used to be me, you know what I'm saying? Until I got time to reflect, like, oh, all this occurred, that made me feel this way, and that kind of pushed me to for my actions to be this way, you know. So I started focusing on mental health more because that's very important.
I would agree. I love the point you were making. Go ahead. I'm sorry. You go ahead.
No, I was going to say too, and at the same time too, I started looking at things through a different perspective. Like, America is a business. You know what I'm saying? And so, like, one day when I was incarcerated, I'm thinking like, man, I got to put so much money into this place that got me, you know what I'm saying, incarcerated for me to just survive. You know what I'm saying? If I don't got money on my books, money on my phone, I can't eat, I can't connect with my family, I can't do all that. So it got me to thinking like, wow, we contributing to a business that's not even benefiting us. They getting money off the backs of us every single day. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Every single day. And people don't wake up and realize that. You know what I'm saying? Like, people don't wake up and realize that they still stuck in their own trauma.
I think I was very lucky. I was lucky because the military woke me up to the trauma I experienced growing up as different. Like I thought it was normal that nobody dad was there when you're younger. I thought it was normal your mom worked 2 jobs, you barely see her. I thought it was normal your neighbor could pop off on you if you get caught in trouble. I thought that was just a regular way of living. And it was like, no, that's how my hood grew up. That's how the project area I lived in, was. And it's something to the way we learn to survive and then how we're told to assimilate into society.
Right.
And it was kind of almost like a knee-jerk reaction from going into the military and realizing I wasn't a regular civilian to start with, and then had to build me up. And then when I got out, I had to transition back to being a civilian. And then I'd been in the military for like 21 years. And it was just like a totally different world. And I really just had to get onto them both and realize that the connection between the two is human beings. And I got to get underneath that if I got any chance of fighting all this drama in my life. You want to talk about going to a place where you could possibly die for two sides that you don't know if they have your best interest at heart. And that's whether Democrat or Republican. But you go boot up on this plane and you go land in this country and you tote that weapon as if you believe it, know it, and understand it no matter what. Right? So when I come back, people's like, oh, which side you on? Well, it's kind of like, I fought for both sides to talk, so I really don't know how to choose right now. I feel stuck, But this understanding helped wake me up to, oh, that's because I don't understand how it works yet.
Right.
So I start seeing, as Dejan was saying earlier, it's the inside out. It started making a whole lot more sense to me. Of course,
exactly. You gotta start within
exactly.
yourself.
Of course, it looks bleak when I'm mad at first. Of course, it looks sad when I'm sad at first.
Most definitely, it starts with the inside for sure.
Yeah,
that's what I mean. Like, as far as dissecting yourself and taking the time to reflect on what you got going on and assessing your trauma and what you got going on in your head. Because it's like nobody else is going to. That's what I realized about people. Like, people's perspectives is different. Everybody's going to take it a different way.
Yeah.
So you got to pay attention to yourself.
We all have different realities. Well, let's do this, man. Since Dejan, you in the new office space over there. All right, we're gonna put you in charge. So everybody, go ahead and unmute for me, real quick. Everybody unmute. So here's what we got. Dejan, you the boss, just because you're in the new office space. All right. But what I want us to do, kind of like for 5-10 minutes here, man, is just toss around the idea between all of us right now of if we were in charge, given what we know about the streets and the communities that we come from, and given what we know about how your life can change with this understanding, what would we do for violence in our cities, communities? What would we do for issues and problems in our communities where they're suffering. And then we see what we come up with. And we're just tossing it out. So we start with, since you're in the new office space, boss, we're gonna start with you.
Okay. I say for me, in my neighborhood, is that's what Tamaje was talking about. You feel me? I would like show people the importance about their mental health. You feel me? About like what's important inside of them. You feel me? Because I had this talk with my little brother one time, and my homie, he just got out of jail. You feel me? And my little brother was telling me even though you out the way, you feel me, who your friends is, you might still gotta go be in the streets, you might still gotta go do all the bands because who your friends is, you feel me? And that's what a lot of things going around the city. Whoever you clicking up with, whoever you around, you feel like you obligated to go do this, you feel like you obligated to go do that. But I had to tell my man, that's all false. You feel me? I got the same homies, you feel me? And look what I'm doing, you feel me? It's not about who you hang around, about who you be with, what neighborhood you in. It's what's up here. You feel me? And that's what I share with everybody. Because once you know, like, it all comes from here, you feel powerful. You feel me? Like you feel like you can do whatever you want to do. You feel like you got the control of your own steering wheel. You want to go left, you want to go right. But without that knowledge, it's like you only can go one route. But when you have that knowledge, you feel me, you can create different routes, create different obstacles, create different pathways to get out of certain situations, you feel me, other than just going straight to violence, like what Prince was saying. So I just share that with people, like, man, focus more up on the mental health, other than no guns or more police, you feel me, focus up on helping the person instead of helping the environment, you feel me, focus on helping the person, and the person will help his own environment, you feel me. We don't need nobody to help us with our environment. We can do that ourselves. Help us see something different. You feel me? Help us see something that we ain't see before. You feel me? Absolutely. That's what I focus on.
Yeah, no, I love that. So I want to real quick jump to you, Brandon, because this is something personally I know about you. And to keep it PC, let's just say you have found a way to help spread this understanding with people who may be of a different organization as you are. How about that? That's a good way to say it. Organization is a good way to say it, right? Who organization may represent different colors and you know, things like that than yours does. What have you seen on, kind of like what Dejan said, is you're not obligated anymore to have to live that way. You're trying to help. So how do you deal with seeing people who at one point could have been enemy or foe and now offering them some help?
I actually think that as I grew up, that notion of somebody being from the other side is the wrong thing. That kind of changed in prison for me. Mm-hmm. Being everything in prison is race based. You know, when you in prison, it doesn't matter if you're a Blood, a Crip, a Vice Lord, a GD, whatever. You black before anything else in there. So I got friends that's from the other sides, you know? So this understanding kind of didn't really change that for me. That was something I came across myself. Mm-hmm. Just realizing and seeing something that the system is really pinning us all against each other. That it's not all about the neighborhoods and stuff that we grew up in and stuff like that. It became a little bit deeper for me.
Okay.
But being able to work around people from the other side now, I love it. Actually, I think it's kind of like a challenge to me now. You know, I actually get a joy out of that. You know, when people sit back and they'll be like, "Oh, but you from?" Yeah, I am. So what?
Yeah.
Like, what does that have to do with anything, though? Really? Yeah. That doesn't mean that you ain't. I'm not just Brandon from, you know, from wherever, you know. I'm Brandon. I'm just Brandon. Yeah. That's just Tamarja, man. That's just Prince. You just Rob. I don't care where you from. None of that's all irrelevant, you know?
Yeah.
That doesn't make you who you are. You know, that's something that I realize is that that didn't make me who I am.
I
You
love
know, and
that.
now I got homeboys that look at me and they respect me now. Because
Yeah.
now it's a whole nother level of respect. I gain their respect doing something different, but now I gain their respect because now I elevated myself in a whole nother way.
Yeah.
And I think when I go in and I speak to the youth and they can see that regardless of where I'm from, they see somebody that's exactly the same as them.
Love that, man. Wow. Okay, hold on, Prince, before I come back to you, because I got one I want to throw at Tamarja and Derek. It's a question from the audience as I'm getting them here in through the chat. But for you guys in particular, of all the programs that you kind of been exposed to, what was the difference that what you learned with the Inside Alliance that made the most difference for you and how you wanted to kind of change your life for your aspect toward violence and things like that?
Go ahead, twin.
I'll say to how to process your emotion. You know what I'm saying? Because for a lot of people, your emotion dictates your actions. And Inside Alliance taught me that your emotions, you can't you know how to let them flow through you.
Yeah.
They don't have to dictate your next move or what you got to do next. You know what I'm saying? It's all right to feel something. Everybody goes through emotion. That's not unnatural. You know what I'm saying? So it's not something you should necessarily have to fight, you know what I'm saying, or battle with. How to understand them and let them pass through you, let it flow.
Love that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's well, bro said it. But also no note on it helped me like understand like when other people going through their emotions, because I understand like a lot of people don't have this understanding, you know, and that kind of helped me be, I'm not gonna say more tolerant, but like more empathetic towards people, because I could get like, oh, you don't know how to process, you know, you don't understand how your emotions work, you don't understand not to allow it to dictate your actions, you know, you don't have no understanding. Therefore, it's not really your fault, and it taught me how to stop taking things personally. You know, when people's emotions get involved, because I'm like, okay, this you know, this not you don't even really know what you're saying because you're so caught up in your emotions. You know, it's clouding your judgment, and then shit. Even if you do know what you're saying, I'm not gonna allow it to dictate how I respond to it. You know, I'm not gonna react to it. I'm gonna respond to it. You know, and then like bro said, it's emotional intelligence, it really taught me too that it's key to a lot of problems, you know, just understand how your brain works, because think about so many different aspects of your life where your emotions will get in the way, you know, and typically and then by extension that lead to a negative consequence. So
Yeah.
I love
A
it,
lot
man.
a lot of people make decisions based off of emotions
right.
without channel it and thinking first. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Emotion seems like for me at least, they seemed like the place I was supposed to make my decisions at. The way I understood the world, because it was all
Right.
predicated on what was happening outside.
Right.
So in that way, it kind of made sense. But when I woke up to, wait a minute, if I walk into a room and Prince is mad at me, but I'm not mad at Prince, why do I need to respond to Prince like I'm mad? Like it just
Right.
doesn't make sense anymore.
Anger with anger, you know?
Yeah, I mean, but Prince cussing me out. I mean, he's going off. I'm like, but I'm not mad at Prince though. You know, it's like he's upset about what, but I'm not mad. So it wouldn't be a need for me to be. But what happens is, oh, Prince mad. Oh, well, if you mad, that means I got to be mad. And if you go up, I got to meet yours. And the more you
Right.
go up, the more I go up, because I can't let you disrespect me. I'm an old school. And again,
You gotta get rid of the pride. That'd be the pride thing, you know?
yeah,
Exactly.
And me
you
and bro
know,
was
it
like
just
that
get the
too.
rolling.
Me and bro was like, if you went here, we gonna go up here.
Yeah,
That's how we was. So
yeah.
you know,
So
And
Prince, take it
also
back,
too,
man. What do we do about this, Prince? What do we do about it?
Man, look, it's like it's normalized, man. What we got to do is we got to make it a problem. You get what I'm saying? Like that's what me and my OG was just talking about. Like in the hood, like people get killed, shorties getting kidnapped, like, and it's happening like every day, all day, and it's just happening. Business is still going. Everything else still just normal. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not a problem. that this is happening to our people. Like, it's not a problem. Nobody sees it as a problem. Like, to where, you know what, we ain't going to work this week, or we ain't doing this. We finna focus on what's going on in our community, or we finna focus on all of these babies that's getting hurt or that's going missing. Like, it's that part is becoming normal in our community to where we more accepting to death and violence. Like, when stuff happen, it just happened, versus to, okay, this boy got shot right here. We finna make sure don't another kid never get shot right here again ever. You get what I'm saying? And we gonna guarantee that by incorporating these laws, putting people here, putting stuff here to guarantee that the kids can get to school and back safe. Everything that's going on in the neighborhood is normal. Like, to us, we're not, we might watch the news, you might see it, you might be like, oh man, that's messed up. But then you go on about your day, and then you look up and the next day it's somebody else, you like, oh damn, man, that's messed up. And then you know what I'm saying? And it just continues and it just continues. And so it's just like, we have to start making what's going on in our community a problem, and not being okay, and changing the whole atmosphere, how we look at, you know, the violence and what's going on.
Yeah, I love that, Prince, because this understanding is, I've heard the term coined for it, loving disruption, right? Like, that we love people so much that we want to disrupt the thinking that they have that causes them suffering. And one of the biggest things that I saw, and my mentor helped me see this, is there's a confusion between what's natural and what's normal. See, we think the way we grow up in these environments with these crimes and this violence and stuff, we think that's natural. It's not. It's normal given our environment. What's natural is this that we're talking about, that it doesn't matter where we come from, that we're on here sharing expressions of love. It's natural that each and every one of you are showing up in your own way, using your story to impact, to change. It's the pointing to your resilience. That's natural. That's natural. That's you in your most, the state, you know, you could be where you don't have to even put a hat on or whatever. That's you, love. But what we think it is me showing up trying to prove to you I'm a man, and prove to you I'm this, or prove to you I'm that, and escalating these stories. Every one of those stories I'm trying to prove to you is trying to cover a hole. And I'm thinking by running up on you, fighting you, I'm going to fill that hole in that void. But it doesn't happen. That void does not get filled until you really come into an understanding of your true nature and who you are. And I get a joy watching each and every one of you wake up to that and go out in the streets and do the work to see it. Like, I'm telling y'all dudes just make me on some, I know we've been talking about jail violence and hood and gang, but y'all make me cry and shit, bro. Like, for real. Again, y'all really do, man. Y'all are some special people, man. Oh my God.
I appreciate it.
I got some more stuff. I got some more questions coming in real quick. Oh, got it. All right, so let's take it back. The people in Portland, the few that are listening to us in Portland, want to hear Derek and Tamarjay spit out similar to Prince. If you had to come up with a solution, or if they were listening to you today in your area, what would be something you do? Prince's was kind of make it a problem. Wake people up to the fact that it's happening and get them to see that it's not normal. And get them to do something about it. So I love that idea, and you could find many of ways to do that. So what would you guys do out there in Portland? Because I'm gonna tell you, before working with Inside Alliance, I had no clue Portland was like it was. I thought y'all was low key, super chill. Y'all had the Trailblazers. Everything was Gucci out there. Like, I really just didn't know. I had no clue people were dying at the rate they were in Portland, Oregon. My guy, like, I had no clue of that at all. Until I got on with y'all and was like, Portland, what? So what would y'all do, man?
Want to go first, Twin? You want me to go?
You go first. I got to.
I like to always bring things like back to like, I like to start like at a young age. You feel me? Because I feel like a lot of our problems like come from there, and like a lot of misinformation miseducation. So like, because it's messed up because like Dejan said kind of the same shit, like same thing I was thinking, like, because it's like, the same thing, like mental health. That's a big problem in our communities, like we've been talking about, and it stemmed from like a very young age, you don't feel like you can go and talk to your parents about how you feeling if you're sad or you're depressed, because they don't even know how to process their own emotions either. So I know for me, I would talk about a lot about just redirecting like funds. Like they defunded the police out here, right? I'm okay. Then you need to funnel those funds into something that's going to be beneficial, really beneficial to the community. And like, I believe it starts with the education at a young age. They need like more classes or more courses, like with like genuine like people, like teachers that are like trained in this and have like a real experience, and they're teaching about mental health and about emotional intelligence. Because like I said, I feel like that's where a lot of our problems come from is African American people.
I like that. And I like that you said talk to the teachers and stuff, because if you think about it, most of the teachers that work in our schools come from our neighborhoods. So they're just as stressed. They ducking just as many bullets. They're they're just trying to get alive just to get to and deal with all the kids they got to deal with in the school system too.
Exactly.
So that's our teachers. And then our nurses, again, the nurses. They're the nurses from our neighborhood. So here they are supposed to be here to help and heal us in a sense, and they just as stressed as everything else because they live in the neighborhood too. So it's something to, I really like what you said. It's something to getting the leaders, the organizers, the social workers, the leaders in this.
And having them like, and even having those people like go more to schools, they need real like criteria. My bad. People keep on calling me. To have like a real set like criteria around it. You know what I mean? Not no like, not no bullshit. So
yeah. What you got, TP?
Man, I would say teach knowledge itself. We lack knowledge itself. And when I got incarcerated, I used to read a lot, bro. And I did not know like all our historic achievements that we have and accomplished as Black people. And that made me realize like we capable of a lot, and we've been doing stuff. You know what I'm saying? We've been contributing to the whole world in each way. You know what I'm saying? So we don't get taught that growing up. You know what I'm saying? We only get showed a certain amount of things, and plus we grew up in this environment, so our mind is already programmed to get down this way. You know what I'm saying? And another thing too is just change the narrative and be honest. Like people make shit seem cool and acceptable when shit is really not acceptable. You know what I'm saying? But I feel like people are not honest enough about it, if that makes sense. You know what I'm saying? Like, what is acceptable? What are you not being held accountable for? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. It's a mindset.
Well, it's the start.
People be stuck in the mindset out here. Yeah. People be stuck in the mindset. I don't think a lot of people have like somebody genuine to have a real conversation, like how we're having a conversation now, to acknowledge the truth about the truth. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Authentic dialogue. That's what I love. Authentic dialogue. Yeah,
for sure. Because
if I was to
I truly believe if you go ahead.
No, you go. Go ahead.
I truly believe though, like if we can't have conversations like this and have honest conversations and acknowledge the truth, then what are we even doing? You know what I'm saying? There ain't really no point of conversating, because a lot of people got the truth misconstrued.
Yeah. Well, okay. I like that. So if I was to summarize, because we're coming here on the end of a close to anybody who was listening, what we're basically saying is one of the first things you could do to help the violence in your area is, as Brandon said, lose the us versus them mentality, and just start looking at everyone as another human being and somebody you can help. So not criminal, versus, judge or whatever you want to call it, not them versus this, just another person from our community who may need help. Another thing is let's disrupt some of these norms that we've been allowing to take place, as Prince said. Kids shouldn't be getting kidnapped. Kids should be able to have a safe place to eat and sleep. Let's start making that a priority in our communities and speaking out more of it. As Dejan did, how about we start some foundations and get some boots on the ground into those places, going into the schools and educating, as Derek said, at a young age, because of how much that can help. And then to close it all up is once those things start rolling, we can come to the table and have some authentic dialogue, some fresh conversations around this where we can hear you and you can hear us, depending on what side of this conversation you're coming from, so that we could stop the suffering that's happening. I want to thank everybody on the panel for being here. Again, as always, thank you, gentlemen. And to all those who have joined and everybody, all of the links, and this has been recorded and we'll make sure it get out. And we'll make sure along with that, you still have the links as we continue our 30 days of giving. Don't forget Insight Alliance, Rebels for Peace. Plug in anywhere you can, because we're doing some great stuff. And anything else from you guys, go ahead and shout everybody out. Throw out any last minute tags. Hey, mama, I love you. Any of that y'all got, go ahead, do it
Hey,
now.
mama, I love you.
You know.
Thank all you men, man, for coming out here doing this tonight, man. You know what? I just kind of wanted to point something out, that you had asked us a question about what we would do.
Yeah.
I just want to point out that we are doing something right now. Every last one of us has been doing something. The organizations that we are part of, sitting up here on this panel, this is all something. This is the start of something. This is a piece of something, Yeah. Change doesn't start really huge all the time. Change is sometimes small. And all of y'all, thank y'all, man, because all y'all are part of this change.
Making history.
Absolutely.
Rebels for Peace, Insight Alliance. Again, any way we can help in any way we can. We love you all.